But I posted a video probably like 2 months ago about how my hair has been falling out.
Right.
It was literally a 10-second video. I just whipped my phone up and was like, guys, what is going on? My hair is literally falling. It was 10 seconds. It has like 10 million views now. Yeah, my digital footprint is crazy. Let's not go down that tunnel. Let's go back to when I was about 10. This is when I kind of started Instagram. I've always done Pilates, ballet, those kind of things intertwined. And I've always just loved pretty content. I would say that's kind of how I got into the creative side of things.
Yep.
It's legit now. This is a business. Someone's paying me. I need to know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
One day I just woke up and was like, I hate this. Like, it feels really inauthentic to me. I was literally logging onto Instagram, didn't want to post. It felt like there was a mental block there. So I decided, you know what, fuck it, let's change everything. And that's where we introduced the iconic blue, the Flickr blue. And I just thought to myself, let's just go complete opposite of beige. Let's pick something really outlandish that people are going to recognize.
It's definitely not beige.
It's definitely not beige. Within 3 months, we were hitting 6 figures in revenue.
Wow.
And again, it felt like it was overnight.
Wow. We record our first video. I post it. The next day I wake up and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? We have, I think it was a million views in the first 24 hours. And it ends up going on to be picked up by a ton of news articles and sites all over the world. We end up having over 100 million views on that first video. And that was really just from a few tweaks.
They don't want to follow a business. They want a connection. People buy from people. They don't buy from logos. Nobody ever feels ready. Even people who I speak to who, from a glance, you think they've got it all together. Nobody does.
Welcome to the call. Really
Thank
appreciate you being here. This has been a conversation long overdue. Most people don't know this, but the success that we've had at Wild and the personal brand that I've been trying to create over this last 12 months is because of you and the incredible work you do at Flickr Social. And so I was hesitant to actually have this conversation because part of it's like, feel like I'm gatekeeping a little bit. And it's been working so well for us. Obviously, we've had incredible brand growth. We've got incredible partnerships now with the Shangri-La. We've had multiple videos that have gone now to viral status. We've got some that have over 100 million views. And you and your team have just done an incredible job of taking what we were doing, I guess, randomly and organically and curating that and doing that in an incredible way. And so I value and appreciate your expertise and genius so much. And so I'm very begrudgingly sharing you with the world. I feel like that's the case. And I think that's an exciting opportunity. And obviously you've been now working with our clients at Wild for the last couple of months, and they just are fucking all part of the Nina fan club. They just froth on you. I reckon if I actually talked less and just had you on the calls more, they would love that even better. So very excited to talk to you about that. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
For those of you who don't know, for people watching that don't know anything about you background, you've got, you might even go as far as saying that you're a triple threat in that obviously we do the personal branding. You're also a Pilates instructor as well. You also have an activewear line as well. You're also running a company. You've also got a event studio and a podcasting space as well. So there's a heap of stuff that you do, and I'm probably not even across all the things that you do. I only just found your YouTube channel yesterday. So
No, don't look at that.
I was like, we're going to do some bar exercises. I was like, great, let's get down to this. So tell us a bit about backstory, who you are, what you do, for those of the people that don't know.
Yeah, my digital footprint is crazy. Let's not go down that tunnel.
Yeah.
So a little bit about myself. Let's go back to when I was about 10. This is when I kind of started Instagram, I would say.
Okay.
Like everybody else at that time, Visco was the thing, the filters, and I've always just loved pretty content. I would say that's kind of how I got into the creative side of things.
Yep.
Alongside that, I've always done Pilates, ballet, those kind of things intertwined. So during my journey going through uni, I started to become a Pilates instructor.
Okay.
Whilst I'm also just learning all about Pinterest, all about the things. So that led me to just creating an Instagram, as you all do, for your personal use, stupid stuff when you're a kid, and then slowly starting to realize, okay, no, people are doing this as a job. Like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
So when I dove further into the Pilates sector, that's when I really started to concentrate on what am I actually posting and starting. I wouldn't say I was building a brand. I was more so obsessed with, again, pretty content, aesthetics, like looking good, cute activewear, that side of it. But as I kind of got a little bit more into it, I started to realize there's so much more to social media than just stuff looking good. And I think this is a mistake a lot of people make.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the distinction between something being effective and just aesthetic, because I
Yes.
think most people start just thinking that it's not working because it's not aesthetic.
Yes.
But it's also not working because it's not built properly.
Yes.
And the aesthetic part is also nice to have, but you can look aesthetic and nothing can happen as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think also when Instagram first came about, which was when I started, it was very aesthetic focused.
Yes,
I think
yes.
that really worked.
Yeah.
And I think if you look at, the OG like Instagram girls, that's all they were doing. It was
Yes.
like the Tumblr era, they're just posting
Yeah.
cool photos. But then it became very oversaturated. There's only so many pretty girls you can look at in a day. And it started to become, okay, what's a deeper reason for somebody following you? It became a lot harder to grow, so you had to put in a lot more effort. So during this time, I started getting, some brand collabs, more so for activewear and the fitness side of things. So that's when I really started to be like, okay, what do these brands want to see? Obviously, they want to make money. They want to grow. So what's involved in that? It's not just a pretty photo. It's how can I make this piece of content as strategic as possible? How can I make people watch this and then also click through onto their website and buy? So I started to really dive down that track and just started to refine what I was posting a lot more. I think at the time, I didn't quite realize what I was doing. It was just kind of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what was sticking. So that was in the way of, what are the colors that I'm consistently using in my content? What are the brands that are reaching out to me? What do they want to see more of? What's the aesthetic that they're going for? And that's when I really started to pick up traction and see growth. And I think I grew from like 3,000 to 20,000 followers in 6 weeks at one point in time. It was honestly, it felt like it was overnight. Like I was waking up every day, I was having thousands more followers. I was like, okay, there's really something to this. And through that process, one of the gyms I was actually working out at reached out to me to help them out with their socials.
Right.
And again, this was more the aesthetic side of it, but I was like, okay, like this is legit now. This is a business. Someone's paying me. I need to know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I started to apply that same kind of theory of, okay, what is working? What analytics do I need to look at? What is the brand world I'm creating? Who am I speaking to? And really starting to apply this consistently. So instead of just going, okay, who's a good-looking model I can post on Instagram, it was, okay, I'm actually speaking to like a 50-year-old who hasn't been in the gym for the past 10 years. They don't want to see that. They want to see, these are the beginner exercises you can do, or like this is our trainer who you're going to relate to. So that's where I got a lot of my learnings from, and that's when Flickr kind of, honestly, it was a complete accident that Flickr grew. It was pretty much organically through this, but with Flickr, I applied pretty much the same philosophy, I guess. When I started Flickr socials as a brand, I was more of a freelancer, and again, not really any idea what I was doing. And I was doing, I hate admitting this, but very much what everyone does when they go on Instagram, looking at, okay, what are other social media agencies doing? Oh, they look like this, they post this. That must be the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So I was posting very beige content, like literally the color beige, very corporate captions. And if you know me, which you do, that is not me at all. I do not speak like that. I'm not clean curated. I'm not all those things. And, we were doing okay, but one day I just woke up and was like, I hate this. Like, it feels really inauthentic to me. I was literally logging onto Instagram, didn't want to post. It felt like there was a mental block there. So I decided, you know what, fuck it, let's change everything. And that's where we introduced the iconic blue, the Flickr blue. And I just thought to myself, let's just go complete opposite of beige. Let's pick something really outlandish that people are going to recognize. So
it's definitely not beige.
It's definitely not beige. So I just decided, you know what, let's just start posting with this blue. Let's start talking how I want to talk. Let's start bringing me to the face of it rather than posting, pretending I have this massive team and I live in this beautiful beige building. I was like, no, it's just me. I'm going to start talking to the camera. I'm going to get it out there.
There's polished concrete floors.
Like that's not mine. And since doing that, I think within 3 months, we were hitting 6 figures in revenue. And again, it felt like it was overnight. And that's where I was like, okay, this is it. Like, this is the thing. So from that, we started to develop our own method, which we've used with yourself and countless other clients. So now we help predominantly small businesses and founder-led businesses grow their social media with a heavy focus on brand. It's not just content and social media, it's creating those brands.
Yeah, incredible. And I remember when we first connected, I knew that I wanted to make a shift in our brand. And I always felt like we were very good at paid because we've been doing that for such a long time, but that our brand didn't represent the same scale as what we did as a company. And so I wanted to do that. And we reached out to a ton of different people and we ended up working with you guys for a lot of different reasons, but because I just felt we had a connection. And I was like, I just really trust that Nina knows what the fuck she's doing. And I remember we had a conversation and I was like, hey, I really want to just get a sense of what this is going to be like. And you're like, yeah, no problems. Like, we back our work. So try it. Let's see how we go. And it was amazing to me because we had our first conversation. We started talking about brand. We started talking about, storytelling. We started talking about just the basics of curating material and just being considerate of who you're communicating to on social. I was very guilty of, I'm an oversharer anyway. And so I was just like, I'm just documenting my life. And there's an element that's very valuable. But if you're going to create a brand, it can't just be haphazard, right? And I remember your team, because I was about to fly away, your team sent me through a couple of different ideas. You're like, hey, when you go on overseas, because I was going to Singapore, I want you to do this sort of stuff. And I just want you to consider these few things. And it wasn't a very long email, but it was a few things to consider. I get to the Shangri-La in Singapore. We record our first video. I post it. The next day I wake up and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And that video goes just outrageously well. We have, I think it was 1 million views in the first 24 hours. And it ends up going on to be picked up by a ton of news articles and sites all over the world. We end up having over 100 million views on that first video. And that was within, I think, the space of 2 or 3 weeks after starting with you guys. And that was really just from a few tweaks, subtle tweaks to going, hey, like I wasn't doing anything that I wouldn't have already done. And I think that's a real unlock for a lot of people. A lot of people are doing a lot of good stuff. They're showing up, they're trying to document, they're recording videos, but a few subtle tweaks in the world that we play in, whether that be an Instagram algorithm or the Facebook or the TikTok one, makes a massive difference in the overall output and impact. And so obviously thank you, because we wouldn't have had that success if it wasn't for you guys. But I've really seen the benefit of that and the impact that has had longer term as well. And of course, our brand has got bigger. We now have partnerships that we didn't have before, which was amazing, right? We get to travel around the world and not pay for accommodation, so it's even better. But now people, like everyone I speak to, has nothing but positive things to say about our brand and what we put out there and the content we produce. And it's not necessarily that our content is that different to the way that it is, but it's better packaged, right? It's like for a lot of people, they've gone to all the effort of buying a beautiful gift for somebody and they've not taken that final touch point of just gift wrapping it or just being considerate with how they give it to somebody. It's like they walk in and just chuck it on the table. And so there's some people that are not buying a gift at all, and we'll talk about how to create content. But for a lot of those people, I think there's the ability of just understanding how to do that. And I think you and the team have nailed that. So really well done. Talk to us about today in 25, heading into 2026. Founder-led brands. We've had a conversation offline about this, and I was always I didn't realize this until you shared it with me, but it's like Richard Branson has a bigger following than Virgin does. Elon Musk has a bigger following than Tesla does. Apple's Steve Cook has a bigger following, and so did Steve Jobs than Apple does. So you look at some of the biggest companies in the world, even in the tech space, like Mark Zuckerberg has more followers than Facebook does. And so even at the highest levels, there's founder-led brands, and they're not posting viral TikTok video dance videos. They're still got more followers and more engagement because people want to create a connection behind the brand. What are you seeing as this sort of movement away from a corporate brand to a personal brand? Why is that so significant? Why does that matter now more than ever? Just give me some insight around that for what you're seeing.
Yes, 2025 really felt like the buzzword was personal brand. I think it's because social media has pretty much democratized who can be a celebrity. Like if you have a phone, if you have an internet connection, within 6 months, you can create a multi-million-dollar brand. Like if you look at Alex Earl or Emma Chamberlain, who are like huge TikTok influencers, they have done that solely from creating a personal brand on TikTok. In combination with that, I think people are just so sick and tired of being sold to. Like the consumption era is insane, but picking up if an ad is an ad, it has never been more obvious. Like people know this is an ad I'm being sold to and they don't want to see it anymore. They don't want to follow a business. They feel, that it's slimy, that they're like, you just want my money and that's all they want. People don't want that. They want a connection. People buy from people. They don't buy from logos. So when you have a person at the forefront of the brand, people have that connection with them. So I love Grace Beverly.
Yes.
Yep. So She started her brand as like a fitness influencer, and now she's grown multi-million-dollar activewear brand, productivity brand, multitude of other ones. And it's like anything that she produces, her audience is going to buy. It doesn't even matter. Like, I don't even care what the product is. I love her and we want to support her. So I think it's that little underdog piece with the founder-led content. People love to see where you came from, where you're going, and support you on that journey, and they get to be a part of it rather than being like, this is the end product of this billionaire who's now selling to me really harshly on social. I think it's become a bit icky now.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because when social media first was created, it was social networking and it was about connection.
Yes.
And then it's moved to social media.
That's so true.
And now it's very much media engines. And so, we're living in a world where you consume a lot more than what you did before, but I'm not sure that necessarily means you do a lot more in terms of action and the result and the outcome of that is not as strong. And obviously you've seen, I don't know when this trend happened, but maybe in the last 12 months or so, the rise of UGC, right? User-generated content, which is effectively the media landscape trying to respond to that, realizing that selling someone a direct product on an ad doesn't work as much anymore. So we've got to try to create sort of fake or sometimes real client engagement testimonials to have people sell it because we trust more what a person says versus what a brand says, which I think is just really fascinating. It's like, it's such a problem they had to create a whole new way of marketing it to try to do the same thing. Or they could have just created a personal brand in the beginning and not have to worry about it.
For sure. And it's always scrappy, shitty content that now outperforms any polished content. Like save your $20,000 on the production team. Yeah. Just get me in a dark room to film it and off we go. Yeah,
it's crazy. I mean, we've even tested some of that stuff when we've done some hotels collaborations, right? Like we've had the more polished, perfect pieces and then just the random walkthrough stuff. And the walkthrough stuff does way better,
Zero
right?
Zero editing to it, just the text on screen. Yeah, it's crazy. But I really love the consumer psychology behind marketing as well. I find that really interesting.
Yes.
And now we're seeing the rise of AI and AI content, which especially in my space, everyone's like, oh my God, this is changing everything. Like all the social media girls are freaking out. But already it started to become like the anti-AI movement. People are like, I don't want to see your AI content.
Yes.
And again, there's just this thread throughout time, no matter what it is, people want genuine, authentic content.
Yes.
Regardless of where we're at, that's what they want, and that's what a personal brand builds.
And I think part of that is that AI can replicate your Instagram or motivational posts. It can replicate the sort of templated stuff really well, right?
Yes.
And so if that's your whole business, you're fucked, right?
Yeah.
But if your business is you, talking about your lived experience, that's never going out of, it's always going to be in vogue, right? And it's not something that can be replicated through AI because AI is not living a real life. It's never dealt with those things. So, I guess in some ways the rise of AI is only going to further push the opposite, which will be the narrative of individuals. Now, we get, and you've seen this so many for the clients that we have at Wild, so many of the people that are looking to start a brand, especially not when they're selling a product. So I think the product gives you a bit of dissociation, right? If I'm selling an activewear product and you don't like the stitching or if you don't like the sizing or the fit, it's the product, it's not me. But if I am the product and I'm a coach, I'm a consultant, I'm a healer, I'm a light worker, I'm a digital marketer, whatever it is that I'm sort of inspired by, people are buying me. And so there's a vulnerability in me posting on social media. And what if my life is a mess and I don't have a great house and I don't have this aesthetic part and I'm not yet the success? If I've got that anxiety and I'm trying to build it, how do you go about helping somebody that's not the person yet?
Yeah.
And, do they have to be the person? Is it fake it till you make it? Is it documenting and not create? Like, talk me through how you go about creating that, because that's a real issue for so many people where it's like, I want to build a brand, but I'm just terrified of putting myself out there because I've got a fear of judgment, a fear of being seen, all the things.
I feel everybody has gone through this and nobody ever feels ready. Even people who I speak to who from a glance you think they've got it all together, nobody does.
Yeah.
But I think there is so much beauty in those in-between moments. Again, that's where connection happens. That's where relatability happens.
Yes.
But it's like with daily life, like you're not going to like everybody you come across. And it's the same with social media. Like some people aren't going to like you when you're real, but then some people are going to love you. And that's all you need. You don't need everybody to like be okay with you.
Yeah.
You haven't ruffled any feathers.
Yeah.
You would much rather be half hated and then also half loved and devoted to and obsessed. And I mean, you can use Donald Trump as an example for this. He is absolutely hated, but also absolutely loved.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the same thing with social media.
Very few people sit in the middle.
Exactly. Very few people sit in the middle, and those who have incredible success, never ever sit in the middle. So I think it's just embracing that part. And again, people love the journey. Most people don't live in the most beautiful, curated $1 million mansion. They do have, you know, all their shit out, the dishes aren't done, their boyfriend sucks. But if you speak about that, everybody else will start connecting with that. I even posted a video the other day. This is really exposing myself here. But I posted a video probably like 2 months ago about how my hair has been falling out. I have extensions now, so you can't tell. But how my hair had been falling out.
Right.
It was literally a 10-second video. I just whipped my phone up and was like, guys, what is going on? My hair is literally full. It was 10 seconds. It has like 10 million views now. I got so many brand partnerships off it. Hairdressers reaching out to me. And that, again, that's not being the perfect.
Yeah, of course.
Like, that's not me having all my shit together, but that's what resonated. And I think I gained.
Tell me you're a business owner without telling me you're a business owner.
No, literally.
Fact. Tell me you work in social media marketing and AI's on the rise. Fuck.
I was like, I'm just going to get extensions and now I can't see
People
it.
are like, is it falling out or are you ripping it out? Like, what's actually happening?
All my friends sent to me, they're like, I think you're stressed. I'm like, nah.
No, it can't be that.
It's definitely
not that. It must be something else. It must be in the shampoo that I'm using.
But that's a prime example. It works.
100%. Yeah, I think a lot about actually a couple of things, and what we talk to our clients about is that, one, the relatability point, right? You know, people don't fully get this, that when you are the success that you want to eventually become and you will become, it's very difficult for people to relate to that because they see you as being almost like a bridge too far.
Yeah.
But if you are documenting in the beginning, people can resonate because you're one step ahead, right? And I mean that most people don't understand how significant that bit is. Like, you've just taken a step and they haven't taken that step. And so you're never being more captivating or inspiring for that person and more accessible than what you are in that moment. And that's not going to get you most of the followers, but the people that do follow will be real genuine and there's a real connection point. So I think that's massive. And there's also as well, naturally, a desire that we have to fit in, right? Like we're tribal creatures. And so in this digital space, people are terrified of getting the hate message. Yeah. And that does happen, right? Like, it happens to us. It happens to probably sure all of your clients as well. Some people are just fucking negative, right? Like Les Brand says it better than I ever could. Some people are so negative, you put them in a dark room, they start to develop, right? So you can't live your entire life being concerned about what people that you don't actually care about think about what you're doing with your life, because otherwise you'll never fucking do anything. And so I think there is a price to entry if you're wanting to make an impact, which is that you have to be willing to absorb a bit of that. I think that really does matter.
I actually say that to clients when they get their first hate comment, because they always send it to me freaking out. And I'm like, you've made it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've made it. I say that to them like from the jump, because exactly, they do panic. It's a very unique situation you're putting yourself in, which you would never do in daily life when you're exposing
and no one would
yourself.
ever say that. It's people are not coming up to you on the street and saying the things they'd say on a message, right? And like, that's always been fascinating to me. But also, when you think about the flip side of it, the videos that have got the most debate in our stuff are the ones that get the most views because people feed off that. There's whole conversations happening in the thread. So in the past, I used to delete, and of course I still delete if it's inappropriate, but more often than not, I'll just let it run, because if you're commenting and engaging and connecting and fighting with each other, the virality that has in our work is massive, and stuff that you wouldn't expect to get people up in arms about, people lose their shit about, which is really amazing.
No shoes on the bed, please.
Oh my stars. Wow. Who would have thought that would be such a trigger for people? But hey, that's the gig that you play. You know, I think there's also a point, I'm interested for you to talk about this, about, you know, I've always thought about the idea that my girls will grow up in a world where they'll be able to see, not everything, but they'll be able to see a lot of what I've done in terms of me building it from the beginning. And so I wish, actually, if I could go back to Wild in 2013, 2014, I wish I did like a fucking Big Brother Dear Diary every week and go, this is what happened this week, right? Because for them, you know, they'll live in a different world than what we live in today, but they'll be able to look back and go, oh, I get to see Dad build the whole thing during that entire journey. And no matter how much I try to describe that, it's not going to be anywhere near as potent or powerful as being able to watch that if they ever wanted to, right? Talk a little bit about that, especially from a legacy piece for people as well, because I don't think people think about that as long-term. We're terrified of losing people that we don't actually love and care about, but the people that we do love and care about probably would love to see that journey and that documentation happening. So how much should I be documenting the journey versus how much should be content created to, I guess, sell the vision or the success of the product that I'm creating?
Yeah. That's a tough question because I say it would depend on your business, but I think what a lot of people get caught up in is they don't want to post the in-between messy bits because they think it makes them look amateur, makes them look like they don't know what they're doing, and they get really fearful of that. There is an element to that when it comes to, for example, you're a coach. I probably wouldn't post a video being like, I have no idea about this topic and I don't know what I'm doing and I just sold this coaching course and I don't know what I'm doing. But I would post something saying, come and build this coaching course with me. This is where, I had this gap in my knowledge here. So this is the course that I went to. Come, let's do a little daily vlog together. And then I would save the mental breakdown you're having about that coaching call for your own internal documents. But I absolutely would release that later. Again, people love the underdog. They love seeing the journey. And like you say, if you're just that one step ahead of everyone, you're inspiring so many other people to join in on the journey. Like your girls can look at that and go, yes, Dad's doing this now. And they probably look at that and go, what the fuck, I can never live up to that. Like, but then you can show them, well, here's me crying on a bathroom floor when I had $5 to my name and like could not pay my rent or could not do X, Y, Z. And they're going to go, oh, I can do that. I can cry on the bathroom floor and then get up and keep going. Which I even say that to my partner when I'm taking photos on holiday and whatnot. I'm like, yeah, but I get to look back at this in the future and we're going to have this memory, whether I post this or not, whether it's annoying in the moment, you are never going to regret making the content, whether you post it or not.
Yeah, 100%. If I'm looking to start a personal brand today and I'm going, okay, I get it. Okay, I'm going to stop playing small. I'm going to start putting myself out there. I know it's going to have a positive impact for a ton of different things. How do I get started in that process? What are my steps to success? What are my do's and don'ts? Like give me the Flickr blueprint without the price tag.
So we actually have a method called
Can we take some notes on this, by the way? I want to try and save somebody next month.
So we actually have a method called the icon method.
Okay.
So this stands for
how neither of you.
This stands for identity, content, obsession, and narrative. Okay. So this is kind of the framework that we walk through, like we walked through when we first start with the client. So identity is, I think this is the piece a lot of people miss. And this is what I missed when I had first started. For example, you're just posting content or like you're capturing every element of your life and there's no structure to that. There's no why. So that's becoming really clear on what are your values? What do you want your brand to stand for? And most importantly, what do you want to be known for? Everybody's so multifaceted. You love painting, you love this, you love that. But like, what are the one or two core things you want to be known for? So for me, that was wellness, Pilates. That was what I wanted to be known for. So really establishing that, because I think a lot of people really lose sight of that, especially as they start to get big. You see a lot of influencers do really inauthentic partnerships or start businesses that have no idea, nothing to do with who they are. It's getting clear on that. Then we go into content. So this is my favorite bit. So there are so many different ways you can come up with what are you posting, and people really overcomplicate it in my opinion. So I'm going to try and keep it really simple. So we're going to start with content pillars. Content pillars are pretty much what are the themes of content that you are posting. So we generally like to do 3 to 4. If you're a business, we always want to have, that education piece in there, which is that authority building, and then generally some sort of call to action piece or like where you're actually selling the thing. But you can also just have different buckets, whether that's like fitness, travel, family, whatever you want that to be. So coming up with what am I talking about and try to get clear. You don't have to niche down. This is another really heavily debated topic. That's the beauty of a personal brand, is that it's not a brand. Let's say I'm Apple. I'm only posting about Apple products. I'm only posting about technology. It would be very odd if I posted about travel. But Steve Cook, he can post about travel. He can post about his dogs. He can post about his wife, whatever he wants to post about.
Because this is a real fear people have, right? Like, oh, can I talk about this? Can I not talk about this? And so do I have a little bit more flexibility with a personal brand? And can I also experiment a little bit? Like, do I have to... If I create something, do I have to stick to that forever, or is there a sense that I can sort of chop and change as I choose?
Yeah, I would definitely say in the start you want to try and stick as much as you can and have those 1 to 2 core elements that you focus on, purely because from an algorithm perspective, it's easier to grow that way. You're going to find your people, then you can branch out a little bit more.
So am I committing to something for maybe, say, 12 weeks at a time?
I would say if you're just starting, go 6 months.
6 months, okay.
Yeah, and then I would say 12 weeks.
Okay, gotcha.
And again, as more people become involved with you, they don't care as much about the content, they just care about you. They don't care what you're posting, they just like it because it's you.
Yeah.
So that's one perspective, is the content pillars. But then you also want to think about inward content and outward content.
Okay.
So from a marketing perspective, this is the marketing funnel, but
Yeah.
I've just rebranded it for simplicity's sake. So outward content is essentially content for people who have never heard of you before.
Sure.
New audiences. Now, this is like the viral content you and I create.
Sure.
That is why it goes viral, is because they don't need to know who Calvin is, who Wild Success is to
Sure.
understand it and enjoy it.
Gotcha.
But then you have inward content, which is, let's say, this podcast or something
Sure.
that's a little bit more close to home. I generally have to have some sort of an interest in you to want to watch that. And that's
Yeah.
typically why you see lower views on that style of content than you do the viral style
Yes,
content.
sure.
So it's finding the balance of those two, because most people make the mistake of just having zero structure there, and they are constantly posting very selfish content, very, this is me at the gym, this is my dog, like
Yep.
me just talking about what I want to talk about.
Sure.
They haven't thought about, okay, am I trying to reach new audiences, or am
Yeah.
I trying to connect with my audience? They just don't think about that. So that's the second element. Then we go into obsession, which is another piece that I absolutely love. So this is where we go, okay, so now we've got the identity, we've got the content, but like, why would people follow me over my competitor?
Sure.
And this is the bit AI can't replicate. This is where the personal really comes into play. So this is curating your brand world. So again, this is colors. This is what outfits do I wear? Like, what playlist do I listen to? All those little personality traits
Yeah.
that only you have. It could
Yeah,
even
it's really
be,
creating a personality to the brand,
Yes.
not just a personal brand. It's really a personality brand.
Yes,
Yeah.
even if that's like the way you introduce yourself or
Yeah.
your mannerisms.
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
again, you can't replicate that.
Yeah.
So coming up with even editing styles is another
Yes.
one.
Yes.
Coming up with those, niche, unique things that people can't steal from you.
Yeah.
And then the next one is the narrative. So brand narrative. Most people go for the, I was 18 years old, I had $0, and now I'm trying to build a multi-million-dollar business by the time I'm 19. You can say that in every piece of content, and you want that storyline. You want something that people can root for and join along and come along for the ride.
So that's creating sort of like a story arc in your content. So people have the desire to want to follow over multiple series or multiple videos versus
Yes.
just one random clip.
Yes, and
Gotcha.
that's like one of the most effective ways to grow a following, because people get invested. They want to follow
Yeah.
what's next. And it doesn't have to be a big mission. It can be, for the next 7 days, I'm trying new habits. It
Sure.
can be something so
Yeah.
minuscule, and you can change it all the time. But I think just having that narrative people get involved with
Yeah.
is super important.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of structure that we go through
Incredible.
that I would be taking people through when they're looking to start.
Amazing. Now we have a 5-day personal brand challenge coming up, which I'm very
do.
excited about to collaborate on. And I'm aware of your time, and I know you've got some stuff to go to as well. So just a couple of quick questions. What can someone expect from that? And then also, in the world that we play in, so often people, when they look at social media, the question is, how often do I post? What platforms do I post? Give me some insight in terms of what we're going to cover there. And I know that changes all the time. So what are you seeing right now in this space as well? Because people are going to obviously want to come to figure out the icon method for themselves.
Yeah.
And doing like what you do amazingly well is what we call like brand glow ups, right? When
Yeah.
you take a brand, you go, hey, let's make this better. Not necessarily make it more aesthetic, although you do that, of course, but it's more about making it more authentic and more aligned and bigger picture and doing all of that. So tell me all the things in the 5 days, like what are we covering? But then also give me some strategy for me to go, okay, right now, do I be posting once a week?
Yeah.
Am I doing once a day? Like, give me some insight.
Cool. So yeah, through the course, we're going to go through how can I establish myself as a unique personal brand. We're going to walk through that framework and tailor it to each person. From there, we're going to look at, okay, how can they start monetizing that as well? Because at the end of the day, you want to be paid for being yourself. That's the goal with personal branding. So we're going to look at kind of the steps that you can take and some milestones and goals that they can set for themselves, as well as walking through that brand glow up. So they can walk away with a really tangible feeling of, okay, I've got this set in stone. Now I can go and implement it. And that's something we can also explore
Amazing.
later down the track. Quick fire.
Yeah.
Let's go for what we should be doing. I would
Yeah.
say 5 posts a week. We
Yeah.
want to be doing 3 reels, 2 carousels. I would say between 2 stories a day if you can. I would also say do not post content if it's not high quality. Don't just
Okay.
try to hit the volume. I think people really make that mistake. I would prefer quality over quantity. Use trial reels as much as you can.
Okay.
Get everything out there. It's such a little secret hack we've
Yeah.
also been using. Great way to also test new content. Another little tip I would say is create a signature series so you don't have to keep reinventing content. So if you keep getting stuck on what do I post, for example, I have a series called Hot, Rich and Happy where I pretty much just post
Sum you up.
habits, hot, rich, and happy. Who doesn't want that? So coming up with a framework that you can replicate through your content. I think, again, people make it so hard for themselves on, I need to change it, every week, every day has to be something new. It doesn't. Repetition is really good for socials.
Yeah.
You can literally even post the exact same video you posted 6 months ago and it will probably still do well again. So stripping it back, repeating as much as you can and
Hashtag
creating
no
that story.
hashtags.
No hashtags.
No hashtags.
Look, it's a debate, but we have majorly moved into SEO.
Okay.
Instagram, TikTok are now pretty much just another search engine.
Okay.
Like now we've seen Atlas create its own
Yeah.
search engine. Google is on its way out, in my opinion. So no, focusing on keywords.
Sure, Ben will love that.
Yeah, Ben will love that. Sorry. Keywords are definitely the focus.
Okay.
So trying to use as many words that relate to the topic and your niche as well. So for example, for you, we could be doing life coaching, business growth, entrepreneur.
Sure.
We want to be using them organically throughout. Hashtags still count as keywords. So
Sure.
it's kind of a little hack.
Instagram or TikTok?
For business, Instagram.
Okay.
But for personal brand growth,
If I want to be hot, rich, and happy, I go on TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah.
TikTok.
Magic.
TikTok finds your people for you.
Okay.
Like even my activewear brand I actually started posting about this a year ago on TikTok. I've got a wait list of like 1,000 people on there. It's been a year. And the series has over 500,000 views, something like that, like insane.
I
Because
might launch an activewear brand. That could be a good idea for us. Let's do that. Just crop tops for everybody.
Wild active.
Let's do it.
It's the wild uniform.
I want a wait list. The wild uniform. That'd be great.
So yeah, that's just gone nuts. And it's because it's just found my peak. I've been very clear with very intentional. This brand is going to be honestly a blueprint of how to build a personal brand.
Yeah.
So I've been very intentional about that. And
Amazing.
the TikTok algorithm really just picks that up and finds your people for you.
Amazing.
So bit of both.
So excited for all the things. Thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate
Thank you so much
immensely.
for having me.
Appreciate it.